was past, Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother of James and Salome had bought sweet spices that they might come and anoint him. And very early in the morning, the first day of the week, they came upon the sepulchre at the rising of the sun. And they said among themselves, who shall roll away the stone from the door of the sepulchre? And when they looked, they saw that the stone was rolled away, for it was very great. And entering into the sepulchre, they saw a young man sitting on the right side, clothed in a long white garment. And they were affrighted. And he saith unto them, be not affrighted. Ye seek Jesus of Nazareth, which was crucified. He is risen. He is not here. Behold the place where he lay. But go your way and tell his disciples and Peter. You know, when I was younger, I used to wonder about that. Why did he specifically single out Peter? And I think those of us who know how Peter's spirit was at many times would understand that Peter had a way of kind of putting himself out front. And he even sworn that he would never betray Christ. Right. But the scriptures tell us that that's exactly what he did. So we can only imagine how he must have felt after everything else that had transpired. But the angel wanted him a special message. Sometimes we need something just for you and I. Something just for me because we feel a little out of touch. So I kind of got the feeling that he wanted him to understand, because we know later on Peter was a really, really powerful part of the church. So I think Peter needed to be reminded that he was still part of the plan. That everything he had done, the things he'd done in the courtyard, were now forgiven. So he said, go tell the disciples and Peter that he is risen. But go your way, tell his disciples and Peter that he go up before you into Galilee. There shall you see him, as he said unto you. And they went out quickly and fed from the sepulchre, for they trembled and were amazed. Neither said they anything to any man, for they were afraid. I'd like to share a poem with you, if I may. Tomb, you shall not hold him any longer. Death is strong, but life is stronger. Stronger than the dark, the light. Stronger than the wrong, the right. Faith and hope triumph and say, Christ will rise. No, let's say Christ has risen on Resurrection Day. While the patient earth lies waiting, till the morning shall be breaking, shuddering beneath the burden dread of her master, cold and dead. Hark, she hears the angels say, Christ has risen on Resurrection Day. And when sunrise smites the mountains, pouring light from heavenly fountains, then the earth blooms out to greet once again the blessed feet, and her countless voices say, Christ has risen on Resurrection Day. Right, I'm going to test your memory for a little bit here. But some of us may remember the days when the Dear Abby column was in the paper. See? That chuckle tells me all I need to know. This morning, I want to share a story from one of her columns. It's a story about a young man named Bill. Now, Bill lived in a very affluent community. His parents were wealthy. The whole neighborhood was wealthy. It was the custom in that community that whenever a child graduated from high school, especially the son, the daughters got them too, but the sons were always given a car as a graduation present. Now that process started months before graduation because the right car had to be given to the right person. Because after all, it was a status symbol. So after months and months of searching, Bill and his father came across the perfect car. And they had just the right equipment, sent just the right message. It was perfect. On the eve of his graduation, Bill was with his father in his study, and his father handed him a gift-wrapped Bible. Bill was disappointed. He was expecting car keys. He was so upset about not getting the car keys that he threw down the Bible, walked out of his father's house, and didn't speak to him until pretty much forever. Bill didn't come back to his father's house until his father had passed away. And one day, as he was sitting in his father's study, going through his father's personal effects and his papers and trying to set his house in order and everything else, he came across that old, dusty Bible. Still gift-wrapped. And out of curiosity, he wiped off all the dust, unwrapped it, opened it up, and right there on top of the presentation page, there was a check. A cashier's check in the exact amount of the car they had chosen all those years ago. Sad story, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
We can only imagine all the joy, all the wonderful experiences both he and his father missed out on because of a hasty decision, a total misunderstanding, just doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. Couldn't help but pause as I read that story, and I couldn't help but think about you and I. And I began to wonder, how many times have we treated God the same way? Can that sink in for a moment? How many times have we treated God the same way? How many blessings have we missed out on? Because we didn't wait. We didn't listen. We didn't wait for God to move his plan forward at his time, not ours. How many wonderful promises, so many remarkable things that have gone on in our lives if we had just waited for a little while for God to do it in his own time. And how many other things that we missed out on because we didn't believe? Because here we go again, just like I was trying to write the sermon by myself. Here we go again. We didn't think it was possible. So guess what? It wasn't. All right? See, I understand that in this world that we live in, there's always a scheme. There's always some kind of thing going on. And so we're all kind of learning that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably isn't. We become jaded, cynical, leery, fearful of promises that sound so good that they must be empty, they must be hollow. We all believe and understand that nobody gets anything for free and nobody's going to just do something for you just because. I mean, after all, isn't that the way our world works? Isn't that how we survive? There's got to be a catch. But this morning I'm standing here and I'll tell you that, but God does exactly that. God has never made a promise that was too good to be true. Think about all the ads we see on TV. I don't know about you, but I'm so sick of infomercials. They pop up whether you want them to or not. If you take this pill, if you follow this diet, if you do this, buy this treadmill, this step climber, all these things, full of promises. If you do all these things, you can look like a movie star. And your life's going to be perfect. I don't know about you, but sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't go back to sleep, so I turn the TV on. And there's always somebody, some infomercial telling you how to flip this house, buy this program, and you're going to be rich. Amen?